the reality of planning an international vacation for your family is like, it's too much. There's I don't know anybody who's like, yes, sign me up for that. What I'd like is a second job looking at and researching hotels in other countries that I don't speak the language. Like, please give me that job. Right?
Nope.
Nobody's doing that.
Welcome to the Business Ownership Podcast, brought to you by Awareness Strategies, helping you navigate the waters between entrepreneurship and ownership. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedlick, and I'm super glad that you're here with us today because I am here with my most amazing guest, Shane. Shane, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So tell us about who you are and a short introduction to your business. What do you do?
My name is Shane Mahoney. I am a luxury lifestyle specialist, and my team and I plan, execute, and organize custom private luxury vacations for couples and families that are looking to connect with each other and reconnect with each other.
Nice. Love it. So how'd you get into travel arrangements per se?
My standard answer is just lucky, I guess. You know, it's a winding story, but I spent 12 years in sales and finance positions. I hit 34 years old and just sort of didn't feel like I had control of my life. And so I had an enormously bad idea to become a ski instructor in the French Alps. And in the pursuit of that, my mom actually found an article in France Magazine, no less, about a guy who had a 20-year real estate agency in Colorado. He sells everything and moves to France to start a ski school. And I thought, done, like luckiest person ever. So I hit him up, he hit me back, and the next day we spoke for about 4 hours. And it was that conversation that truly changed the direction of my life. And I decided to, at his suggestion, go into being a tour operator. And so it's been 11 years now, and a long road to being an award-winning global travel group. We've booked thousands of life-changing luxury trips and tours, and it's been a wild ride.
I love it. So what would you say is your favorite part of your business now?
The favorite part of my business, I mean, it takes a long time to get things to where you kind of want. My favorite part is that my teams are working pretty well independently, and it's freeing me up to do a little bit more of the working on the business stuff, Yep. So I think that's my favorite part right now. But I mean, in just general terms, I mean, I have countries that pay me to go to their country, and they take care of it's pretty good. They take care of all the stuff to wine and dine me and show me all the great stuff about their country. So
You gotta like that. That sounds pretty sweet. Awesome. So in this, the luxury kind of realm of travel, how do you define that, and what is that kind of the point? Because a lot of people go, hey, if it's a really nice ski trip to the Alps, that is luxury. And to anybody in France, well, that doesn't quite cut it. It's not there yet. So give us what is that definition?
It totally can be, especially even for the people in France. But, in terms of luxury, I think the best part of your question, which I love the way you asked it, was it depends on how you define luxury. And so I'm going to basically define luxury as a trip where you didn't have any stress in the planning phase. You just sort of showed up, and just sort of everything just sort of happened when it was supposed to, without it really being ostentatiously in your face about it, or without it being a problem. Think of it as like a really nice fine dining experience, and you had a crumb and somebody like crumbed it like before you even realized that they had. Just we take care of all the problems of international travel well before, during, and after you going, so that people can just focus on having fun and doing the things that they want to do. and I did that really specifically because I think the American market has just so much stress in their normal life that the reality of planning an international vacation for your family is like, it's too much. I don't know anybody who's like, yes, sign me up for that. What I'd like is a second job looking at and researching hotels in other countries that I don't speak the language. Like, please give me that job. Right?
Yep.
Nobody's doing that. And the reality, Michelle, is that because they don't do that,
Mm.
they're taking substandard vacations. You're going somewhere you've been before, you're going on a cruise, you have seeded some part of the process for ease, and you don't get as good of an experience. And so what I wanted to do with Lugos Travel is flip that script and give an unparalleled experience, but with almost absolutely no stress in the planning of it.
Nice. I love it. So before we get into what you do for your clients and how you make that happen, let's
Yeah.
talk about some of the mistakes and follies that you've heard of before they came to you and went, oh my God, that last trip was a disaster. What are they doing wrong? And
I mean, that wholly depends on where you go, how long you're going, how, like classic
can be even
mistake.
some of the fun mistakes that they've made if
Well,
you
like
laughed
classic
at them. But
mistake, anybody going to Europe is going to leave on, let's say, Friday, is not going to arrive until Saturday. So if you book yourself, you leave Friday and you're used to every other flight in your life arriving on Friday. And so you book your hotel room in the city that you're going to in Europe for Friday night. And because you don't show up because you were on a plane, then they cancel your reservation for all the rest of the days that you had planned. So then you land and you have no hotel, and then they're going to book you at the prevailing rate, which is obviously more than what it was when you booked it to begin with.
ouch,
So
that's expensive
that's
and
like,
painful.
that's like a fun one. You know, the thing about it is, people that people that live in between two major airports
Mm.
could book at one and show up at the other. And I can tell you that because I did it myself. I'm in between Tampa and Orlando, and then very embarrassingly and early in my career, for my honeymoon, we showed up at the wrong airport at the right time, but the wrong airport, and so we had to do some trickeration to get to our destination that day on time. Yeah.
Oops, sorry, honey.
So yeah, I mean, I was paying so much attention to my clients' trips that I was just like, I was on autopilot with mine, and I had booked us to leave one airport, but to come back to the other, and I just flipped it in my head.
Oh no. I
Yeah.
assume that a lot of people do that between LaGuardia and Newark too.
Yeah. Well, you could book a round trip from New York and leave or come back from one of three different airports,
Right?
so it's not uncommon, and it's not unwarranted. And one of the things that I would recommend to anybody to step up their travel game is get a private car to pick you up at your house and take you to the airport.
Smart.
We include that standard with every single one of our tours that we sell.
Nice.
So we pick you up from your front door. But if you're not doing that for yourself, do that for yourself, because that is, it's probably the best and least stressful way to start or end any vacation.
Mm. Well, and you'd mentioned earlier the cost of the hotels going up as immediacy is prevalent. I think a lot of people don't take into account foreign holidays, foreign
Sure.
anything. Like if there's anything going on from, we were even in small town New Brunswick, it was National Hockey Tournament week. So everybody in this one little itty bitty town for, 7 days, and everything was full. And it's
Yeah.
like, who knew? Same thing, we went to Paris, or we went to France, and it would happen to be the 400th anniversary of Paris, and they're like, "Are you kidding? Like, how do you not know this?" It's like, well, we were a little busy.
Yeah. Right. I mean, And so that's another thing that like you kind of touched on, and that I liked to be able to address as something that we think about before people have a chance to ask us about it, right? It's like one of the things that really always upset me in the travel industry was what I call from pricing. You know, you'd
Yeah.
see like this fantastic tour to somewhere you're dying to go to, and it says like from $2,000 or or whatever, right? And then when and if you check on that, it's like, oh, well, that's for like this one weekend in February, when it's bone cold and you wouldn't want to be there anyway. But yeah, we can get it to you for super cheap. Oh, you want to go in high season in July? Like, well, that price is actually here, right? And like that whole process is just loathsome. Am I
Mm,
right?
absolutely. My
So
favorite is the tourist price. Well, if you're local, you get it for this. If you're a tourist, you get it for that. If you had booked it a month ago.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? So one of the things that we were starting to offer with all of our tours that nobody else does is we don't care when you go. So you go on our website and pull any tour. You want to go on a Tuesday in July or a Saturday in May. It doesn't matter to me at all. It could be a Holy Week. It could be the week between Christmas and New Year's. Like you literally have no idea how freeing that is. You pick the tour and the things that you want to do, and then you tell us when you want to go. It's it's just a completely different way to think about travel.
Nice. I love it. So let's talk about who you love to serve and support, like your ideal client or the majority of people that are coming to you. Who are they and what are they coming for?
So, it would be any, like I said, we do couples and families, and we do
Mhm.
everything private. So we don't mix our groups with other people, right? So what I think would be our typical audience is couples, but families, and especially generational families. So I think with COVID, we're seeing so many different, grandpa and grandma couldn't see, the grandkids for 2 years, or we're talking through windows, and now it's like, well, let's go do something and spend some time together as a family. So we're seeing a lot of that, but in the age groups of usually 35 to 55 years old, that would be typically executive families and couples. So
Nice. Love that. So give us an example of one of your favorite tours that you organize.
it's like picking a baby. We have
Right? Which
66
one's
babies.
cutest?
We have 66 of them. I have a lot of favorites for different reasons. I have favorites for the cafe that's in the town. I have favorites for the service that you get, or the scuba diving that's possible. Um,
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
oh gosh. Okay. So my favorite place to ski is the French Alps. And so like to go along with the starting of my whole company, I like to ski. Right. So I've skied out west, I've skied in a lot of different places, but the French Alps is just like mind blowing because it's huge. So like in the area we're going in January, um, it's larger than the top six North American resorts combined.
Well,
And yeah, right. So you could spend an entire week and never even come close to the same places. But what's great is these little chalets that are just sort of dotted around in different parts off piste that you can ski up to. They're only available by ski or snowmobile. And you can just have like an amazing meal right up on the top of the mountain. I'm sorry, not last year, it was this year. This year in January, I took a group and we went to a town called La Rosière, and we skied from France into Italy, had lunch, and then skied back. And it's like, I don't know. I just love, love, love the skiing there. So we don't even offer ski packages anywhere else but the French Alps. So that's, that would be something that I love. But
nice.
in terms of the best beach, it's tough because I've been to Tahiti and also the Maldives, and both of them are phenomenal in different and great ways. But my favorite's got to be the Maldives. So you got to pick one, and being able to snorkel with a whale shark, or scuba dive underneath like 10 to 12 foot wingspan manta rays, and stuff like that is just like super super cool.
Nice. I love all of that. So, what might somebody at home be thinking, going, "Oh my God, Shane, I need you so badly."
I mean, they probably have already said that at this point in
Yeah,
the
right.
thing. Um, who doesn't need it? One of my buddies said it best, I think, and he owns a really successful multi-million-dollar business. And he said the thing that has made him the most money in his life has been taking vacations. And I was like, okay, like I really like this, but why? Like, I don't get it. He's like, all my systems and processes should be designed at some point so that I don't have to be there to do it. He's like, and so when I go on vacation, it tests every single one of my processes to make sure that it's doing good. And if it's not doing good, when I get back, I fix it, and then I go on vacation again to test it again. And I was like, well, that actually makes a lot of sense. So I'd say any entrepreneur that's not taking vacations, like think about it from the ROI of what you can learn from not having your hands on your business all the time. But for, I think, the classic corporate executive who gets there 2 to 3 weeks a year, it's about spending that time wisely more than anything. I think we all, at least I can relate in my own life before I started my business, of hanging around the Thanksgiving or the Christmas table and having a conversation with everybody about how we had such a great year, but we should probably take a family trip, and the reality is that people want to do that and spend time with each other, but the stress of putting all those things together is so much that I think what we normally do is we just kick that can down the road. And then what happens is, about probably 2 weeks before spring break, you finally realize that the kid is about to be off of school for a whole week and you have zero plans. And then the light bulb goes really red when you start thinking like, oh, well, summer is right around the corner. And not only do I not have any plans, but everything is now getting more expensive. And
Mhm.
so, like, if you can relate to this story at all, then we are here for you, because you don't have to go through an enormous process. We actually call our process 5 minutes to luxury travel. And that's because every other company in the world right now takes you 3 to 5 business days to get you one proposal on whatever tour you're pretty sure you want to go on. And our system can actually automatically send you uh, any proposal for any of 66 tours, good for any dates of the year, in under 5 minutes. And then you can completely customize it yourself in one afternoon with your loved ones. You can make it exactly the way you want to, and then you can literally sign the contract and be done with it until it's time to show up at your front door when a limousine takes you to the airport.
Nice. I love it. So I know some of our listeners are already excited to get started with you. So how did they start that journey with you?
So probably the easiest way to get a hold of me and all the different things that we can do in the travel verse is Shane Mahoney 360.com. That's Shane, Shane, Mahoney, like MA Honey 360.com. And from there, you can access all of our websites, properties, and information.
Nice. I love it. So I have to ask you, at what point in life did you know that you were special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
No, I'm still trying to convince myself every day. No, it's I would say an indelible mark on my corporate life was when and for those of you who are listening, I'm bald. But I had hair back in the day, and I used to have to ask permission to go get a haircut. And I was like, I am a grown man that has to ask permission because I work so much that the barber would be closed if I didn't go while while, while I was at work. And I was like, I think that was probably when I started planting those seeds of thinking that I could probably just craft my own way and figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
really.
If you put in that
So,
many hours for them, I'm thinking they can live without you for,
right.
fun.
It's like 80 to 100 hours a week. And just like, it was great money and, and all that. But you really felt it in the freedom department. And so, it's interesting. It took me a bunch of years to get from, you know, the freedom that I wanted to have when I started the business to actually getting close to that. So it was moderated and tempered.
Nice. Love it.
Temper
So
expectations for those young people out there, but all in all, it's well worth it.
I love it. So in your entrepreneurial journey, can you give us an example of maybe a mistake that you made that you can laugh at now, or something that might have been a little embarrassing, but now you think it's pretty funny?
You mean showing up to the wrong airport for my
Yeah, for your
honeymoon?
honeymoon. Yeah, okay,
I
you win.
mean, I don't know how it gets much more embarrassing than that, considering what I do for a living. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, the the thing about it that I would say is this is mistakes are definitely going to happen whoever is planning the vacation. For the people listening, you have to decide whether the person you want fixing it is you or someone else.
Fair enough.
And because those emergencies happen while you're on vacation, that becomes your vacation becomes working to fix your vacation, versus just chilling out. I'll give you a great example to like
Yeah.
cement this, right? So one of my clients wanted to take his wife, real special, one of our Cabo tours. And so he was going with another friend of theirs. So it's the four of them, and he wanted to rent a yacht. And so we had rented like a really big yacht, a 96-foot yacht. So we could have like a really awesome snorkeling sunset sail coming into the arches, like beautiful, beautiful dinner, right? And the day before they were supposed to go, um, I get a message from the captain that says, "Hey, we've got a minor issue, maintenance thing, no big deal. Do you mind if we postpone one day?" Yeah, sure, no problem. Client's okay with that. The next day, we get another notification that says, "Hey, that minor maintenance issue actually a major catastrophic deal. It's going to be 2 weeks. We don't have a charter for you. You're done." So here's the thing: is my client ultimately, this, if anybody's focusing on anything, focus on what he did. He had guacamole, he had a couple of drinks, they had dinner, they relaxed. And for 12 hours in the background while he was doing that, we were fixing the problem, managed to upgrade him to a 108-foot boat that was even responsive enough to be able to make sure the meal that they had was gluten-free for one, vegan for another, and that's with 10 hours of notice before the thing. And we even had happy birthday balloons all over the boat, uh, to boot. So, we can do a lot to make sure your vacation's pretty good. But if your vacation's already doing pretty good, if you're not having to solve your own problems.
Right? Absolutely. And that can be worth its weight in gold, let me tell you. Awesome. Shane, you've been absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate immensely. Any last words for our peeps?
Michelle, I can't thank you enough for the time. I appreciate it, and I hope your listeners were able to get a little piece of something that would help their vacations go a little better. Would encourage everybody to check out ShaneMahoney360.com and think about vacationing with Lugos Travel.
Love it. Peeps, this is Michelle Nedelec. Thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the show and join our Facebook group, Business Ownership Secrets to Scaling. We love connecting with you and helping you grow. Thank you for listening to our show. I'm all about being a resource center for entrepreneurs to give them the information and the support that they need to make it in business. As such, the notes for this show can be found at our website at awarenessstrategies.com/blog. Be sure to subscribe, give us a rating. I like 5 stars personally, and share with your friends.